Hey, hope you guys enjoyed watching tonight's episode of Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 2. And Twitter is blowing up. First things first, from Selena. I can honestly say that the entire Game of Thrones viewing population is probably very happy that we finally got to see Missandei / Grey Worm sex scene.
But are we... Do we really know what's down there?
Wow, you were really paying attention.
Just saying.
Kind of like what he did.
Hey, head first.
Okay,
Continue.
so my question is, did they cut it both off, or did they just cut off one or the other?
That was my question, but apparently
Based
both.
on my knowledge, from what I recall,
It's all gone. It's all gone.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of my feeling from the books too. There's just nothing there. That's
Yeah.
why he was like not about it.
My other question is, why did that get more screen time than Arya's meeting her direwolf?
Ooh.
because they've been dying to show some boobies.
Because that gets ratings, and we all want to know what was under his smock.
Do we all, or just you? Because I remember when we were watching, your eyes were literally like, show it, show it, show it.
Was it both? Was it one? Was it none? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it got screen time because we're down to the final 2 seasons. People have been wanting to see more with the 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, all right, let's do it now and be done with it.
And they were done with it fairly quickly.
If anything, this might be a hint that one of them is not going to be around much longer, so they needed to do a sex scene
Oh, man.
immediately.
Wow, sad times, Grey Worm, because we all know it's you.
So Shannon Clark tweets, a solution against the dragons. An undead dragon maybe, more wildfire, a huge arrow.
So is the only solution this giant?
That's the only thing we've seen so far. Honestly, I thought that we might even see more with what they had used before with the green fire.
With that spear that they use in that catapult thing, was that dragon glass? Or dragonstone?
No.
I think it was just a giant spear.
It was just a
It kind
big
of
ol'
reminded me,
arrow.
honestly, of Lord of the Rings when they had those arrows against Smaug in
Yeah.
The Hobbit.
It looks like a devastating arrow, not gonna lie. Straight to the skull, I mean, that dragon's done, right? And it was towards that biggest dragon that they had.
Well, and that was the point. That was them saying, look, we have a weapon that's going to matter. It can go through the bone of this, the most fearful dragon. And now we have these live dragons that probably aren't quite as big as this one that helped take over the 7 kingdoms. Issue is, those are moving. I'm really hoping we're not going to lose a dragon. But I suspect we're going to end up with a very terribly wounded dragon.
Well, with Sam's dad, the Elder Tarly, now potentially leading the Targaryen armies, they are in a better position to take advantage of things like these dragon arrows.
See, what I saw was because they zoomed in and did like a slow pan around the head of the spear, and based on the color of the spear, I thought it was like dragonstone.
I think it was just barbed.
Just barb.
And you also got to remember, dragon glass is something that's
It's rare.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're already talking
They had
about
their
how
people
hard
on
it
it.
is.
They had their
John
people on
did
it.
it,
It
yeah.
wasn't like the way that people had gotten it in the past, the way John had gotten it, it was something that was passed down. This was like, oh, we just got all our blacksmiths on it. So what was available was not going to be dragon glass.
So how'd they kill the dragons the first time around?
The
If they
dragons
didn't-
died out.
Oh, they just died out?
The dragons,
Yeah.
it's part of the same thing with the Targaryen line. There's all this inbreeding. Eventually, they get smaller and smaller and more deformed.
Well, I also kind of gleaned from the books with the dragons that because they weren't conquering anymore and they were just kind of keeping them chained up in the cities, that the dragons weren't growing anymore. They were just
Yeah.
kind of feeling too domesticated.
It
That
goes
they can't
back to,
survive that way.
last season with Tyrion. Telling them, going down in that little dungeon.
Katie Stark says, Jon choking Littlefinger and warning him to stay away from Sansa is my favorite thing ever.
Yes, as is mine.
I thought he was gonna stab him at that moment in time.
I was waiting for him to punch him, actually, before that.
Well, Jon still has honor, and despite it all, he still remembers that Littlefinger did save him.
But-
But save all of his people at the Battle of the Bastards. So he's kind of stuck.
No.
He's being nice for right now.
Okay, so my question is, with Jon choking Littlefinger, I don't know, if I was Littlefinger at that point, I'd start scheming against him. I mean, we all know him. He probably already is.
Yeah, I
That
agree.
was gonna be my
Agree.
comment.
But will it further advance, I should say, the scheming plot against Jon?
I think so more now that Jon is going to leave and Sansa's the one that's going to be head of Winterfell.
I don't think it'll go
He's
to
gonna try.
more scheming. I just think in Littlefinger's head it'll be like justification for what he's already doing. He's gonna be like, I'm not gonna feel bad about this. Jon's an asshole.
Oh yeah, like this is certain now because this isn't somebody I can sweet talk. Because that's what he was trying to do, and it was like, can you quit kissing my ass so that I can mourn? And that's where that went. He knows he's not going to be able to make Jon do anything that Jon's not going to do.
Liz Let says, I was laughing so hard when Sam was slicing and dicing Jorah, and then it cut to someone cutting up some food, and by laughing I mean gagging. I know watching that scene, all you guys could barely watch.
It's been a difficult 2 weeks of Game of Thrones for me.
At the very end, I wanted chili.
Well, now I want chicken pot pie.
I was going to say, it was
and
more
they
like
gave
hot
it to
pie.
me.
They
Filet
like to
sounds
play
good.
with us.
There's a lot of pus. There was a lot of gooiness.
Okay.
It was rough.
Okay, so this is what I don't get. They mentioned it on this episode. When he got touched, he should have just chopped his hand off. Why didn't he do that?
Oh, and he knew that too. He knew that too, but it would have stopped what he was doing. It would have stopped his journey.
And he wouldn't have been able to protect Dany as much. Only one hand.
He had his priorities.
Okay, so my question is, if you guys had that, would you guys have the guts to cut off your arm?
I would totally have someone else chop my arm off.
Well, he was with Tyrion at the time.
Then
Would Tyrion have done it for him?
I would pay someone.
Could
maybe.
Tyrion have done it for him?
Well, that's
Tyrion
another
might
question.
have.
I think-
Yeah, he could have. Yeah.
I think he could have. The other question
Right.
too is, what are the consequences of what Sam just did? Because he straight up disobeyed, using information that maybe he shouldn't have had.
Definitely
and
shouldn't have
also, there was a lot of bad flesh flying around. Could Sam have caught something? So aside from the disciplinarian consequences, is there health consequences for Sam after this?
See, I don't think they're gonna make Sam or give Sam whatever
Grayscale.
grayscale. But at the same time, I don't think Sam's gonna be able to continue. I think he's gonna meet up with Jon again. So this is a way for him to get kicked out, and then he's gonna find his way to Jon. So basically, I don't think Sam will get that disease because they want to bring everyone back to where they should be at this point. Because in season 7, they basically, or seasons 1 through 6, they spread everyone apart, and now they're just trying to bring everyone back together. So I think he's gonna meet up with Jon Snow over in the Ice Wall or wherever they're at. Rach Chickpea? Part of me wants to ship Jon Snow and Dany, but the other part of me wants Jon Snow to never love again.
Can we all just say that Jon Snow is the nephew of Daenerys because that's what last season revealed to us?
Yeah, but it
That doesn't matter.
The
Oh my
Targaryens
gosh.
interbreed.
Yeah.
We all know that, but in modern society, we all know that that's not okay. So will HBO do that?
We also know that
You
this
mean the
is
show
not-
that started with Cersei and Jaime
Yeah.
Lannister?
Because
Having
that
sex
was
in a
part of the
tower
books.
And a little kid coming in and seeing it
dropping.
happen?
Okay.
We also have a world where, in the beginning, Dragon Lady, what's her name? Daenerys. Her brother wanted her.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, in a certain way I want to say I'm not sure they need each other, but they do. And they need to continue their lines as well. And the Targaryens pretty much die out. Anybody else left in the family is totally insignificant. If she doesn't actually have a husband and have kids, then her line has died out.
Alejandra, I just realized the gift Euron might bring Cersei is the head of Ilaria, because she poisoned her daughter.
Yeah.
Hashtag Thrones, y'all.
I thought it was Tyrion, but I think it might be one of the Sand Snakes. I agree.
I definitely had the thought last week that his gift was going to be to smash that other navy because that's what he brings to the table. He's got this brand new 1,000-ship Iron Fleet that is a powerhouse on the waters, and they kind of showed off that that's what he's good at. It was really sad though, just seeing how easily he tore through the other ships like they were nothing.
Well-
He came in and let me stab your boat with my boat real quick.
Well, apparently, she did take all of their best boats, right? But then he had to rebuild, so he knew the plans and made it better.
And Theon being a coward again?
Oh
Anybody
my
surprised?
I thought it was his moment of glory, but apparently not.
No. Theon was broken. He got flayed And he, you know, he's another person in the show who doesn't have a penis.
And it clearly shows.
It got taken from him. He's out. Okay, so he is constantly, you know, has been berated. He's always talked down to. He's always seen as the enemy since he was young, in a way. Even though there were people who valued him, he was still an outsider. And up to now, he's watching his sister have more balls than he does. So yeah, when it comes down to it, he's still a broken man. He was holding on by a thread. The challenge came up and it was like...
His sister's still alive, though. At least that's what I
She
gathered.
could be a gift as well.
Maybe.
It could be her and Ilaria. Is there redemption still for Theon? At
Yes.
this point, how many times have we seen him try to come back and then fall again?
There is redemption, I think. I believe that, you know, towards the end of the
I think
series...
he lived to a reason.
Exactly. I think he's gonna come up in some way or another. Like, they're just totally building him down, but
Because we had
he's
all
gonna come
thought,
back.
I know I had thought his redemption would be killing Ramsay. You did this to him, and Ramsay Bolton's gone. So really, what is his redemption now?
It's a slow
Killing his
build.
uncle?
You know what? It might be him saving Sansa. I don't
Okay,
know.
I'm gonna put this out there. Whatever his redemption may be, I think he's gonna get redemption. But it's gonna come at a cost.
Agreed.
His life.
Yeah, I think he won't survive this.
I think so too.
Allie had brought up a point earlier. Why is Ilaria so helpless?
Yeah.
Because we have seen that she does not act as helpless in earlier seasons. And
Oh.
this whole attack, she just kind of sat back and watched as they killed her daughter, as they took her captive. Is she playing a long game? Is she trying to position herself for something else happening?
I mean, if you saw, her daughters were fighting and they did just die. So it may have been that, being as cold as she is, she didn't want to see her daughters die, but she's gonna survive, make it to the next thing, because that's the only way she can fight. I don't love it because it doesn't seem like her nature. She's never been a patient woman.
It bothers me that they spent so much time and energy on the Sand Snakes, and here's their special skills, and they're these amazing warriors. The first time we've seen them in real combat, they were just picked off very easily. And it's just like, well then why did we waste so much time saying what badasses they were? Were they just full of it?
To make him to look more like a badass, I think.
Oh, that's a good point.
I really think that's what it is. Maybe there was plans to use them slightly more, but I think, you know, those are people with a amazing fighting ability. They are badasses, but, you know, we've been able to see the female badassery stuff happen already. We don't need to continue that over and over and over again. In this case, we've got some people that we've already been told are badasses, and they come to the fight and somebody takes them and then hangs them from the front of the ship.
Kimberly says, when it seems like Daenerys has a good plan, plus the good guys are winning, but then that ending comes along to remind you it's the Game of Thrones. What do you think?
No one's safe. Just goes to show you. Whenever
Well-
you're comfortable, something ends up happening.
Olenna did warn her, don't go with the clever plans, be yourself, be a dragon. If she had just taken King's Landing and burned it into the ground, she wouldn't have given Cersei and Euron time to strike back,
But
make their own plans.
But with that said, this is also the tipping point for her. Now she realizes the truth. Sometimes there's that saying where a smart person learns from other people's mistakes. In this case, although she is smart, she's learning from her own mistakes. So without being able to make a mistake in the first place, she would have never known. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, coming throughout this season, we will see probably a more ruthless.
But see, this is what bothers me right now about her character, is this is the same lesson over and over again. She listens to somebody else, she tries their way, she sees it doesn't work, and then she jumps on a dragon and wreaks havoc on whoever's pissing her off. It's like, at this point in the game, just jump on the damn dragon and go kill people.
But I think that's what makes her great, is that, you know, she's not her father. She's gonna listen to everyone else and her counsel before doing what is ruthless and what everyone expects her to do.
Now, will that make her an awesome queen, though? Or will that be her downfall? This is the Game of Thrones where every single weakness is basically taken advantage of.
Yeah, but the thing is, being overly aggressive is a weakness in itself. It's exactly the weakness that her father had. It's exactly the reason that everyone can hold against her. You know, what if she's like the Mad King?
So, I'd like that.
Yeah, and guess what? He got overthrown. He got killed.
But
She's gonna be the end of it if she goes that route.
that'd be a better war to watch.
But they've also, with the Varys conversation today, they made sure that she is very aware that she doesn't want to go down that path. And she
Yeah.
specifically asked somebody, like, please call me out if you see inklings of this happening.
Exactly. That's
Let the
not
world-
what she wants to do. No, not let the world burn. She doesn't want to watch the world burn. She wants to have subjects to rule over.
I think there's a fine line, because I think that she needs to be aggressive and follow her own plans, but at the same time not be batshit crazy. But I think that it was a mistake to kind of be like, oh, well, it's a chess game, and I can get everything I want at once and make everybody happy the way Tyrion seems to think it'll all work out ideally.
Her and Jon Snow, I think, have very similar ruling styles. They both have a lot of trust in their council. And I mean, it could be to their downfall. I think the only difference is she has dragons.
I don't know, because Jon just ignored everybody's counsel.
Yeah,
and did what he
John.
wanted.
John does this thing where he goes, "I have a plan. Everybody, here's my plan," and then he lets them argue with him. He needs to go have a conversation with Sansa beforehand so they can argue and figure it out, and then go have a united front with everybody instead of them arguing in front of everybody.
With that said, thanks for tuning in. But before you guys go, you guys need to check out one of our good friends, Maria's Kickstarter. Links will be down in the description. She will draw you and make you into a character,
Mythical creature.
a mythical creature. We'd like to know your comments as well of what we talked about with dolls and mythical creatures behind me. And my name is Carlo.
I'm Allie.
Jasmine.
Nick.
Anyways, again, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.